news story that there was an Israeli national that was in Nevada that was allegedly implicated in a child sex trafficking ring or an operation where he was trying to procure other people to have sex with children. And then he was arrested, detained in Nevada, and then deported and basically ostensibly extradited to Israel and then released by the Israeli government. People are looking at this as some sort of unfair deal the United States has with Israel, where some of the worst criminals that are attempting to offend our citizens are then getting released with impunity in their own nation.
And this isn't the first time that has happened.
Yeah. This is...
why does that happen?
I can tell you why. You're not going to like the answer why. But it happens, and it will continue to happen. So we don't know what we stumbled into. We had the Nevada police, we had local police, who stumbled into something that had an international footprint. So it could have been a coordinated intelligence operation between the United States and Israel, and Nevada stepped into the middle of it, not realizing that both the U.S. federal government and the Israeli government understood what was happening. It could have been a situation where nobody in the United States had any idea what was happening, and Israel was just running a unilateral operation, but Israel is such a close ally, and the intel sharing that exists makes it so that we have an agreement where if an American citizen is arrested in Israel, they are immediately extradited to the United States, not held prisoner in Israel. And if an Israeli citizen is arrested in the United States, they're immediately extradited to Israel so that they're not held liable in the United States. That kind of agreement could exist. There's a number of different reasons why all of this could have played out the way it played out, but I will say that the optics are horrible, because they're exactly what your conclusion is. Why would it be that somebody who is putting American children at risk, whatever their nationality is, why would they be allowed to go right back home again?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they stand trial here, where their criminal actions would have had damage? Why doesn't that person face justice here in the country where they committed the crime?
Yeah. And then on a similar note, you have said on record that you think Jeffrey Epstein was most likely Mossad. So why do they like fucking kids so much? That's Twitter, not me.
That's X. Twitter doesn't exist.
Yeah, okay, that one might have been me. But it was based on that, and then you said Mossad. Jeffrey Epstein was most likely Mossad.
Yeah, so the Epstein thing is really interesting because I don't spend a lot of time digging into the topics that...
I didn't care that much about it until the list disappeared. Now, this is crazy.
Yeah, so it's funny because I actually had a conversation with another intelligent friend of mine where we who had federal background, and we were talking about what could have happened here. Like, how does this play out the way that it plays out? How does somebody who is accused of such heinous crimes, who's already in custody, and then who was part of a campaign promise, how does it still get covered up? How does it still get redacted from public purview? And the theory that we kind of developed, or the theory that he introduced to me that I think is the most sound theory, is that there's a good chance that Jeffrey Epstein may have been an FBI source. Not a CIA source, not a Mossad source. I mean, he may have been a Mossad source and a million other sources. But if he was an FBI, what's known as an FBI CI, covert informant, if he was an FBI CI, he could have been in a position where he was safe from any charges. Instead, he was reporting to FBI the more egregious criminal activity of all the clients that he was supporting, the people whose bank accounts he was moving and building, the people whose abuses he was building, the foreigners who were coming to his parties. Like, he could have been a pretty incredible source of information, not to CIA, because CIA doesn't work that way, but he could have worked with FBI and been given protection.
You see how that sounds like you still work for CIA, right? Where you're like, it's the FBI. You get how he's like, we wouldn't do such a thing.
We would, but we can't. We can't.
Okay.
We can't, because the CIA can't work with an American citizen without going through the FBI to get there. It has to do with authorities. Yeah, we would do all sorts of horrible shit.
Okay. That's good. I'm glad you acknowledge that. I heard somebody, I don't remember who, but they said that about Israel and Palestine. They're like, this is just war. That's all. This is what it's been throughout history. This is war. This is politics. This is espionage. We're going to be a part of some horrendous things in the effort to preserve our power. Yeah. Now, I guess my question would be, what could we get that's so valuable that the trade-off makes it worth it?
With Epstein?
With Epstein and children getting molested and all these horrible things.
You're not going to like this answer either, but...
no, I don't have to like it. I just want to know what it could be.
X isn't going to like it either.
Okay.
So you protect a CI, you protect a clandestine source of information at all costs, because every future CI is watching what happens to today's CI. So as somebody as heinous as Epstein, right, accused of everything he's been accused of, if he's just one of, say, 30 massive FBI confidential informants who are out there, if we turn him over to the public, if we break our agreement with him, then everybody else is like, well, fuck, I'm not going to work with FBI. I'm not going to rat anybody out. I'm not going to narc ever, because even FBI won't cover my back, right? They won't put me in witness protection. They won't keep my secret.
I'm not even saying
if he's a confidential informant, no one else would know that he was working with you.
That's a great point.
Except that when the files are released, the files will tell you.
When he gets jammed up. Got it. Okay.
I guess.
And think about that. If they try to keep those files hidden, this is what I think is happening to JFK. I think JFK had some sort of connection in there that shows that he was in some way working with or colluding with some element of either our government or foreign government. And we just can't carve that part out, because every time you release some files, those files say nothing. And then you hold other files back and they're like, what's in those files? So you can never get to the core of exoneration.
So you
because
don't think it was just Lee Harvey acting alone with JFK? You think they're...
I think we don't. Well, oh yeah. So I don't know. I don't even know that the assassination is what's being hidden in the JFK files. Okay. It could have been something tangential to the assassination, right? And that's the same thing with Jeffrey Epstein. What we're all looking for is some kind of smoking gun that says he was working for Mossad or he was working for CIA. It all could be tangential. It all could be tangential, and the reason that it's classified is a tangential classification, not to protect him in any way.
But what can be worse than protecting child? It's like even if he was helping us out in so many ways, now we know that there are so many victims. Like, shouldn't we go after the people who were also victimizing?
And sorry, to add to that point, is there not, I'm not even saying this is a joke, is there not like a carve out in a CI's mind that's like, oh yeah, that guy fucked kids, so that's why he's out?
No, because it's so the answer, what's worth it is the future confidential informants that we will get if we never out a confidential informant. That's the benefit.
Okay.
Not just this year, but next year and 2 years from now and 10 years from now, right? Because if we ever out a confidential informant, then every confidential is going to think twice about ever working with.
It is interesting because with this specific crime, it is so heinous that I don't think people can see past it. But like, I think like, Whitey Bulger, like in Boston becomes a CO. Or a CI, and he's working as an informant with the FBI, and they let him do crime.
Murder people, sell drugs. These are things we can kind of wrap our mind around.
And we kind of let it go, and they're like, oh yeah, well, they were using him to get to all these guys, and they were able to get 100 of them, and they killed, 10 other people. Who cares?
Yeah.
And we kind of were like, all right, whatever. But with this crime, it's so heinous that we can't see through it, but I think in the mind of...
CIA believes that all people are born with a spy secret superpower. For some people, that means they can win deals. For others, they can spot liars. Some can even seduce lovers. I built a free 3-minute test to help reveal to you exactly what your secret hidden superpower is. All you have to do is click on the link in the description below, take the test, and start using your spy superpower to stay ahead of 99% of people.
Intelligence people, CIA, FBI, they're just like, yeah, people are people, numbers are data, who gives a shit?
You guys just did the John Gotti thing.
What?
You guys all just did like the John Gotti thing where they're interviewing John Gotti got caught, and they're like, what do you think about John Gotti getting caught? And they're like, he did nothing wrong. And then they're like, what about the murders? And the people are just like, what murders? Like they're just like covering.
There's a degree, I think in our mind, maybe it's society, maybe it's human nature, especially of children,
is the worst.
There's no ability to reconcile that for most of us.
Yeah, there's a reason prisoners fuck them up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. And I think part of a job that I don't envy in someone high up in the agency or FBI or whatever these places are, it's like you can't afford to do that because I got to worry about 330 million people. And I'm not defending what they did. I do understand that is a part of their job, and that is a tough thing to do.
Mm-hmm. So there definitely are files. There's definitely stuff that was collected at his place that he was filming. They probably have proof that other people have fucked some kids. Let's say you don't want to expose that he was intelligent, but couldn't they at least use that information to start investigating some of the people that we know fuck some kids, and then just try to, hey, get them on a private investigation.
You weren't CIs.
And yes, they can, and yes, they probably are. But when you start an investigation, you don't go public and say, "We started this investigation. We're actually looking into so and so right now because of what we
It's
found."
taken them a long time.
Investigations take a painfully long time to actually research, to build a case that you have confidence when it goes to trial. You can build a jury that's not going to have a predisposed bias for the case.
Give us a rough idea how long it could take to see justice for any of these people.
I mean,
Or for any of these
I think we'd be
victims.
lucky if we saw it in 4 or 5 years. I think realistically, cases probably would take between 7 and 14 years. And then even though
No, not the age of the victims. How long does it take to get this trial? Like these, it takes upwards of 14 years to get a prosecution.
it can.
Wow.
Especially if you're looking for a federal prosecution, it's a long time.
There's also the assumption that all the blackmail is sexual blackmail.
True.
Which I mean, Sauter kind of pointed that out to us, and I think it's like a good distinction. Like some of it obviously is, but some of it is just a dinner that he has with, a former head of state or with a very wealthy investor, and just listening to the conversation. And so it's like, oh, there's blackmail of Bill Gates, there's blackmail of this person. It may be sexual, but it also could just be a
No,
conversation.
I know that. But the ones that were diddling some kids,
Oh, yeah, of
get them
course.
the fuck out of here.
Right.
Why would Trump run on releasing these files if when he was in office and Epstein got locked up and they got all this information and he know this can't get out to the public, why would he run on releasing it?
Because he's dishonest.
Point blank. All right.
I mean, Trump is dishonest. I think we all understand
Okay.
Trump is a dishonest character.
I mean, he told us that on the pod. He said, I am a mostly truthful person. Basically saying, I lie sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When it's strategically relevant, when it's beneficial to marketing, when it advances the cause, when it gets him what he needs in the long run, it's a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. Like,
So was it just a huge miscalculation? He thought people would not care after he gets elected? Like if he know he couldn't
Well,
release
he did release, I think he thought, oh yeah, we're going to give him some red meat. We're going to put together all these influencers. We're going
Oh,
to give
that
them
thing.
these files and we're going to leak all the stuff and they're going to eat it up and we'll be good. I'll have done my job. And then no one ate it. And then he was like, oh shit. All
Is
right,
that what you think, Andrew?
you got to keep in mind that like Donald Trump was there from the beginning of all this with his first presidency. So none of this is new to him. It's almost like a boomerang that's coming back to him.
He was back there with Epstein too. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
He was there for a long time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is just when you put yourself into the shoes of the president and you calculate risk, this is his second term.
yeah.
Like he shouldn't have a third term according to what we understand of precedent and our own internal laws, right? So what does he have to lose? What does he have to lose pissing off everybody in his base? What's he have to lose? Is that base gonna vote liberal next cycle? No.
I do think a lot more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of
there
people
was-
in the middle are upset.
But the middle's not the base,
Okay.
right? The base is still intact for the next conservative president, the next conservative candidate. So if anybody, the people you can mess with the most is the base.
It's also a good point because Trump doesn't care about the part, right? Like he doesn't care about like republicanism. I think
Right.
he cares about like him getting elected.
Yeah.
And so if
Winning.
he pisses off everyone, like he doesn't care. He's like, I'm out. If he's out.
If he's out.
Yeah.
What is the general view of all the agencies on Trump? What do they think of him as a president? Do they have some dirt on him? Do you think any foreign intelligence has some dirt on him? I've heard that theory that like, the reason he's so pro-Israel or whatever is they have something on him. Russia might have something on him. How much do you believe in that? And then what is like the general agency view of him?
So I can't speak for obviously all the members of the IC. Donald Trump is definitely a split decision for a lot of people. Even within the CIA and the people that I talk to at CIA, he's still a split decision. There's some people who love the American first, pro-America, let's get back to like hoorah, support the military, be strong again, give up on this diplomacy bullshit stuff. There are plenty of people who love that idea. They don't love Donald Trump. They love that idea. And then you have the other side of people who just seem to hate Donald Trump.
Okay.
Right. Who are like, oh, he's misogynistic and he's belittling and he sounds stupid when he talks and so you've got the people who love what he's doing and you got the people who kind of hate the man.
Yeah.
And I've seen that on both sides, even within CIA itself, which is supposed to be an apolitical organization. I think the real thing that you can look at to measure how much CIA likes or dislikes Donald Trump is the incredible lack or the incredible amount of resignations at CIA under the first Trump presidency and then under the second Trump presidency also.
Right.
People don't want to work for him. He is the executive. That is a organization that works for the executive branch. And I think Donald Trump, of all people, is like, if you don't like working for me, get the fuck out, right? Give me space to bring somebody else in.
Right.
But unlike we've ever seen in history, when the first Trump presidency resulted in a massive exodus of CIA
really?
officers.
I was unaware of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so CIA had an attrition rate historically of about 1.3%, which means that every year, 1.3% of its clandestine cadre would leave its ranks. The majority of that 1.3% would come back in the following Monday as a contractor working for a contracting firm. So they didn't really lose anybody, right? Very, very few people left
Never
CIA.
leave CIA.
And then what happened is in 2014 was when I left CIA, there were more people willing to leave. There were more people willing to resign,
Right.
if you like that word better.
Yeah.
And then in 2016, like the floodgates opened.
Really?
CIA went from losing on average one clandestine officer per month.
Yeah.
That's what they were losing prior to Donald Trump, to 30 clandestine officers per month in 2016.
Wow.
They had a huge, and these aren't analysts or finance people or logisticians or fake passport people. These are actual people who collect intelligence.
Has it affected the strength of the agency long term?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now that is like universally understood across every agency officer I've talked to, current, former, and even still inside. They all think the agency's weak. The agency's weak. The intelligence it collects is weak. The access it has is weak. It's heavily reliant on foreign partners to give the intelligence that it collects. It's struggling. And it's not because of the officers, the men and women at CIA. It's because of the resources and the structure and the administration and the massive swings left and right that we've seen in the executive.
Guys, take me out. I'm available.
That's true. He will fail his weed test. That's our fault. Yeah, so I guess I'm also thinking just a 30x increase in turnover, you're not going to be able to train up people as fast as you're losing them.
Correct.
So that would have long-term effects. And then I guess to bring it and to not make it just Trump, when Biden comes in and things seem to go pretty far left, that will be the swing you're talking about.
Correct.
And then Trump comes back in and they go even further right.
Correct. And when you're making a career in government service, first of all, you make a career in government service hoping that you won't have to deal with politics. Most of the people that go into Health and Human Services, TSA, you name it, any federal office, they're not politically motivated people. They're there because they're looking for a stable,
TSA don't seem that
steady
motivated
job.
They don't seem to want to be there.
Yeah.
They don't seem to enjoy much of anything. I don't think being alive is really motivating to them.
But in all honesty, like that's the kind of person that gets a federal job. That's the kind of person that lives in a government job their entire career.
Randomly checked a lot more times.
The way I look, I might be a TSA agent soon. I keep putting on weight like this.
God damn.
Okay, fuck, I had a question for you. Oh, how does this affect America's safety long term?
Yes. We're not safe long term.
Wow.
What the fuck? It's
Oh yeah,
not good.
we're in. I mean, I'm sorry if this is new news to you. X would have told you this too. We're fucked. We've got like 10 to 15 years of horrible American existence ahead of us. It's not going to be a fun place to be. We have to fix the shit that we've broken.
How long has this been breaking?
It's been breaking since the Obama administration.
Okay.
So Barack Obama came in and he was the first truly populist president who abused the executive power system to hijack policy when his party controlled the Congress.
Damn,
He was the first one to do it. I don't think he did it maliciously. I think he was trying to do what he believed was right, that the party also told him, Barack, this is the time to do it. Like, you need to do what's right. So I think there was a lot of pressure, and I think he was still a statesman, and I think he was still, a professional politician. But the precedent that he set was a precedent that made it easier for every following president to abuse it.
Oh, gotcha.
So the most executive orders ever written up until that period of time, Barack Obama. The most covert action ever executed, meaning the president executed killings abroad with nobody's permission. Barack Obama.
Shit.
right? That these were the things that were happening during his administration to build hope for the future of America.
To what end? What do you have an idea, or can you talk about like what they were trying to get done? What were the Democratic interests at the time?
Well, I mean, politically, there's definitely smarter people to talk about it. But when it came to national security, what Barack Obama was trying to do is he was trying to combat the terrorist threat, the long-lasting terrorist threat, which is a transnational threat that's based in ideology that is really centered on like an abuse of information. So if you can kill enough like queen bees, then the hive is useless. So that's what he was trying to do. Is he was trying to like knock out major players, just like Netanyahu was doing in Israel, right? He's trying to knock out these major players and then hopefully have all of Al-Qaeda kind of collapse in and of itself. Especially because we had been in a war for a decade already that was not necessarily a popular war.
And I understand the idea. Like on its face, it makes a lot of sense.
And then domestically, he was trying to build up a policy that was so powerful that the next incumbent president couldn't unravel it, right, with Obamacare.
Right.
In the effort to do what was well-intentioned, the result was Donald Trump could come in and be like, hey guys, I'm going to sign a bunch of executive orders. I'm going to use my right as the executive to control CIA and do whatever I want to do. I'm going to play brinksmanship over here. I'm going to do things my way now. And it's okay because the president before me did the same thing. And then Biden came in and was like, well, now I'm going to sign as many executive orders as I want to sign. And I want to use the CIA for whatever I want to use the CIA for. So it's like,
How much do you think 9/11 and the search for Osama influenced Obama's desire to just sort of non-congressionally attack and try to hunt people down?
I think the first actually led to the second. So I think he had so much success eradicating leaders along the way that when Osama bin Laden was identified and the location was known, he was like, let's do this. Like, we're going to piss a bunch of people off, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And
Who
for
did it piss
America.
off?
The Pakistanis. It pissed off the Pakistanis. It pissed off almost every American ally.
Maybe my Indian is showing, but if you're harboring the guy, you're our ally, you're harboring the guy who had the greatest terrorist attack on our soil ever. What fucking right do you have to be mad that we killed this guy?
Why would you say that the Pakistani authorities would change their rights at all, depending on what America thinks?
Would change their rights at all?
Yeah, why would they change their perspective at all based on what America thinks?
Well, you were harboring known terrorists.
To America, not to Pakistan. What do they care? He's not killing Pakistanis.
Yeah, but he also wasn't a Pakistani citizen. He was a Saudi Arabian citizen. So
Is he
he's not
bringing-
one of yours.
Yeah, and if they're one of our allies, wouldn't you be like, hey,
Yeah.
Are they really one of our allies? Because they're going to ask the same thing. Is America really our ally, or is America India's ally?
America at the time, I think, was Pakistan's ally, but
It was,
I'm
it
also
was.
basing that on you saying they were allies.
They are. So the Israeli-Pakistan-America thing is completely tits up. Who's friends with who? Like, Pakistan and India are not friends.
No.
But America is somehow allies with both. Right? The United States gives weapons to both. It gives aid to both. It gives training to both. Pakistan actually uses terrorist tactics in its fight against India.
Yeah, believe me, I hear a lot about it.
But we still support Pakistan. Do we identify them as a terrorist organization?
oh shit.
See what I'm saying? It's fucked up, man. The
Yeah.
way the world actually works, not the way that like you see on Reading Rainbow or whatever the fuck you watch on TV, like when you watch your YouTube at night. The way you think the world works is not the way it actually works. It works in a far more carnal, practical way.
Do you ever watch a spy movie, and be like, that's an accurate description? What's the most accurate spy movie / TV show you've ever seen?
The Americans is the most accurate. And even then you have to kind of focus it into probably the first 4 episodes of the first season. After that, it's all whiz bang.
And what was that show on? That's Showtime, I think.
Slow Horses is one
No,
that
Homeland, I think.
Homeland.
How's
Slow
that?
Horses on Apple TV.
No?
No,
Okay.
like Homeland is off. Slow Horses, the concept is sound. There really are offices. We call it the Office of Broken Toys at CIA, where you send your alcoholics and you send your burnouts and you send your serial adulterers and you send your people who discovered that cocaine could help them write better reports. Like, you can't send them back on the street.
Yeah.
And you can't send them out in the field, and you can't fire them because then you've got this bucket of secrets that's tied up in this person who's